Welcome to Griffin Stadium in St. Paul, where tonight the Central Minutemen take on the Highland Scots in the first game for both teams in the 2000 St. Paul City Conference football season. Hello again, everyone. Todd Johnson, joined as always by Kwame McDonald. Kwame, tonight's an old-fashioned neighborhood rivalry, two very evenly matched teams.
Yes, they're going to be fighting for the musket tonight. I see it over here on the bench of Highland Park, and Central with Scott Howell, first-year coach, head coach at least, expects to get the musket and take it back to Central.
Let's talk about that for a moment. Scott Howell in his first year at Central, and he may have an advantage. Perhaps Highland at a disadvantage, not knowing the offense. He's changed everything, new offense, new defense, new coaching staff. How does that affect tonight's game?
Well, one of the things that Highland Park's coach said to me tonight is that, I like what Scotty's doing. He says what he's done is kept it simple. And he said, I'm not comfortable with that.
Tonight's matchup will feature one of the best 1-2 punches in the conference, Nate Hunkins and Casey O'Connell. They may be one of the best 1-2 combinations in the state.
Yes, that's true, but Mark Mayer and
Robin Jackson
are not slouches either. So we may see them air it out a little bit tonight.
Okay, and we will be back in just a few moments with the opening kickoff of tonight's game between St. Paul Central and Highland Park. You're watching high school football on SPNN Channel 35. Welcome back to Griffin Stadium in St. Paul. Todd Johnson along with Kwame McDonald. We're happy to bring you tonight's matchup, the first game for both teams of the 2000 season, St. Paul Central and Highland Park. Kwame, there's a new sense of enthusiasm here at St. Paul Central. They have a new lighting system here, a new coaching staff, a lot of good things happening here.
Yes, well, Scotty Howell has been top assistant coach to Floyd Smaller for years. And he has earned a shot at the top job, and Floyd made sure that he was well trained. And Scotty is not only a charismatic leader, but he's well organized, and he's got the kids working very, very hard.
Well, he will be kicking off. Central will be kicking off from your right to left, and Highland Park wearing the visiting red, Central in the home white and black. And we are underway here in St. Paul. Short kickoff fielded by one of the upbacks at the 30-yard line. Looking for a hole up the middle. He's got some running room up near midfield. Fine run that time by number 48, Chris Deem.
And Matt Peters was the one who tackled him there and kept him from going all the way. Matt Peters, a 6 foot, 190-pound senior.
Well, we'll get a first look at the Highland Park offense, and they have an entirely new backfield. They lost a lot of talent last year in that offensive backfield, and we'll introduce them to you momentarily as they start out at the 47-yard line, and they will work out of a multiple formation. Handoff on first down goes to the tailback Smith, and he fights to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Ben Laffin, a linebacker, 5'10", 170-pound senior, was the one who made that tackle. He filled the gap very well that time.
Mark Mayer will be leading the Highland Scots at quarterback. He's a junior, been with the program for a couple of years, 6'2", 160-pounder, and he is going to get his first varsity start as he brings his team up to the line of scrimmage. Second down and 9. Little misdirection play to the fullback. He's got some running room up the middle. Fine run again, that time by Deem. You saw him on the opening kickoff, and he picks up, it appears to be a first down.
Jordan Perry was the one who made that tackle. Correction, that was Casey O'Connell. Casey O'Connell, he's a wide receiver. and also a cornerback. He's a 6'2", 180-pound senior. Casey O'Connell is one of the good players in this city conference.
3rd down and 1. And Highland again going to pitch it back to the left side. And he's got the first down off the left side. Fine run that time by Marcus Smith. You know, Kwame, last year, Marcus Smith was also a tailback, but didn't get a whole lot of runs because Highland had such an experienced backfield last year, of course, led by Halos Reiser, but this is his year to step up.
Exactly. Halos is now at the Air Force Academy. In fact, Matt Schmidt made that tackle that time. They opened the hole very well there, but Matt filled it in.
From the 38-yard line, 1st down. Robin Jackson split wide to the right side, and he's looking for Jackson down the right side. Got him wide open and just overthrew him. Jackson had 5 yards to spare, and the pass was just a little bit overthrown. Perhaps some nerves, the first pass of the season by Mark Mayer.
I was looking at them throwing the ball before the game, and Robin Jackson has some very sure hands. He was catching everything in sight, and I'm sure that Scotty Howell was very pleased that was overthrown.
Well, Peter Brown now checks into the game, and they will both see action. He is also a junior quarterback, and he will take the helmet. We'll talk about Brown in a minute, and he fumbles the snap, but it's picked up quickly by Marcus Smith, and he moves it forward.
And Marcus Smith got back up to the line of scrimmage before he was stopped by Julius Jackson.
Kwame, Brown is an interesting story. It's sort of a rarity. He's a baseball player. This is his first year of organized football, and he has such a nice arm that they think he's a natural at quarterback.
Well, he's a good athlete. He's an all-around athlete, and this will be his first experience.
3rd down and 10, needs to get his team into 1st down territory. He drops back to pass. Little swing pass off to the right side, caught by Smith, looking for a block. Smith picks one up, and he is down to the 25-yard line, and that is good for a 1st down.
Yeah, I got the 1st down. Matt Schmidt, again, was on that tackle. He's 6'2", 230-pound senior, Matt Schmidt.
Well, Brown did a good job. He had a lineman right in his face and quickly swung the pass out to the left, and Smith did the rest. 1st down at the 25-yard line of Central. Highland mixing it up well here in the first drive of the football game. And again, they're going to split Robin Jackson wide to the right side. And he has single coverage, but they're going to give it up the middle of the Deem. And he's trying to shake a tackle, and he cannot. And he's wrapped up after perhaps a 1-yard gain. And Charlie Cornelius on the stop for Central.
And Chris Tolbert was in on that also, linebacker. 205-pound senior, 5'11" tall.
Well, now Mark Meyer will check back into the game. And you may see some rotating quarterbacks tonight. They want to get both these young men some game experience. 2nd and 9 from the 25-yard line. Jackson again split wide to the right side. He's their big threat, and they're looking to him again. Jackson, again, overthrown. Boy, they're so anxious to get Jackson the ball, they're overshooting him a little bit.
Yeah, and actually, Mark kind of took his time and was trying to throw it up high enough so that Jackson could get up under it. But it actually, ball actually went out of bounds, and it was not playable anyway.
You talk about Jackson's hand. We saw him a couple of times last year just take balls away from defenders.
Yes.
Passes thrown by Kevin Mason. And obviously part of their strategy tonight is to try to get the ball into the hands of Jackson. He may be their biggest big play man on the roster. And the pitch back goes to the right side. And Deem again pushes his way forward. Wrapped up that time by Eric Simons. Eric Simons.
Now, Eric Simons is a 6'3", 225-pound junior, and he's projected to be a very fine player and a Division I candidate.
Well, guess what? Peter Brown now checks back in as they rotate the quarterbacks almost every other play at this point. They're going for it here on 4th down and 5. And the give goes up the middle, and fighting for first down. Ball is loose. Let's see who has it. Smith carried the ball. It popped loose, and it appeared one of the Highland linemen may have fallen on it. And we'll see when they unscramble the pile. You can see there, Central signaling that they have the ball, and they indeed do.
Fortunately that they got that ball, because it was close to a first down, although it was a yard short.
Yeah, it may have been short. Let's take a look on the replay. He may very well have been short. And there you see, ball just popped out there, and
he actually had the first down and lost the ball, and it went back a yard.
Well, we're going to get a look now at one of the top quarterbacks and top receivers in the conference, Nate Hunkins, number 14. He's a southpaw, and he will be looking to Casey O'Connell, number 84, who comes in motion to the top of your screen. Hunkins drops back to pass, and he looks for O'Connell, and he's got it out in the flat across the 20-yard line, and he's wrestled down that time by Deem. And Kwame, this is the new look Central offense. Talking to Coach Scott Howell, don't be surprised if they throw the ball 20 to 25 times a game.
Yeah, and they also want to get the ball into the running back's hand as well. Jose Phipps. They want to get the ball into his hands about 20 times a game.
6 yards on that last pickup. Second down. Call it 4. And the give goes to Phipps, and he is wrapped up from behind. Fine tackle that time by Kyle Kemp. He's just a sophomore, 6'1", 220 pounds, and he just wrestled him down. A flag is down on the play.
On red.
Well, he may have wrestled him down by the face mask.
Yep, that's Billy Hafner, one of our great officials. Been around quite a while.
Kyle Kemp on the stop. May have been an inadvertent face mask, but it'll be a first down for Central.
It was
at the 27. Wide receivers either side. Nate Hunkins drops straight back, throws off to the right to O'Connell, and he puts a move. He's got the first down and more. Casey O'Connell down the right sideline, finally knocked out of bounds by Peter Brown, but not before a nice pickup. They're just doing a quick drop back and getting the ball in the hands of O'Connell.
Here comes a replay. There he throws it now, puts a nice move. Interestingly, Peter Brown is playing on defense.
Well, you're going to see a lot of kids tonight playing on both ends of the football. If you've watched St. Paul City Conference football in the past, you know there's just not a lot of numbers on these schools, and you're going to see a lot of kids playing both on offense and defense.
Exactly.
From the 48-yard line of Highland, out of the I formation, Hunkins again. This time a little delay, and he gets it to Phipps around the left side, and he is met that time. Fine tackle. Corey Marlowe in on that stop, along with Matt Glaze.
Looks like 2nd and 9.
You know, talking about O'Connell, not only is he a big target, Kwame, 6'1", he also has very good speed, runs about a 4.7 40.
Right, and of course, Nate Hunkins is 6'5", and he can see his targets.
1 yard run on that last play. You saw the replay. 2nd and 9. Hunkins again looks now, deflected, and almost picked off. That ball was batted down at the line of scrimmage. Kwame, an interesting fellow on the Highland Park squad is Kevin Tyndall. He's a senior. This is his first year at football, 6'5", 200-pounder, and John Hell would like to see him be sort of like an L.C. Greenwood, to knock down passes at the line of scrimmage and to really get in the face of opposing quarterbacks.
Right. Tyndall is a great athlete. He's going to be one of the best basketball players in the conference this year.
Here you see him right there, number 85. Meantime, it's a 3rd down and 9. Wide receivers either side. Hunkins looking up the middle. Ball is deflected off the hands, that time, of Simons. And Hunkins just drilled it in there. Simons couldn't hold on to the ball.
Yeah, well, he didn't have he wasn't set yet, and he was still kind of turning around. and didn't have his body positioned correctly.
There you see. You called it right. Oh, punting situation for the Minutemen.
Chris Deem and Russell Deem are back.
Meredith gets a pretty good punt off.
Chris is
spiraling, and it's caught this time by Deem, and he is brought down at about the 25-yard line. And the Highland Park Scots will take over. 4:15 left to go here in the first quarter. We are scoreless. This is the neighborhood rivalry, St. Paul Central and Highland Park. You've heard of the battle for the Little Brown Jug. You've perhaps heard of Paul Bunyan's axe. Tonight, it's the battle of the musket.
The musket has been in the hands of Highland Park the last 5 years and 8 out of the last 10. Scott Howell is trying to return it back to Central High School.
Mark Mayer back in at quarterback from the 25-yard line. And the give goes up the middle. He's got some running room. Marcus Smith, gets a first down.
Jose Phipps was in on the tackle that time. He's the one that stopped him. Now, the center of that line is opening up some holes. And
Aaron Howard.
Howard is one of the ones there that is making sure. Now, Aaron Howard is also a very, very good basketball player. And we'll see a lot of him this year in both football and basketball. A fine young man.
From the 38-yard line, give goes again off the right side by Marcus Smith. Pushes his way forward.
Jose Phipps in on that. Simons is in on the tackle as well.
Highland Park has been very consistent over the last decade under head coach John Heller. Winning seasons 9 out of the last 10 years. They're coming off a terrific season last year, 6-1. Their only loss coming to eventual state champion Cretin-Durham Hall. And John Heller has really done a fine job keeping this program stable and keeping the kids in a winning attitude.
That's true. The program reflects the coach.
Second down and 5, 2 wide receivers to the right. And they give it this time to the fullback, and he plunges his way forward for a couple of yards. Corey Marlowe on the carry.
And Ben Laughlin again in on that tackle. Also Chris Tolbert.
Peter Brown now checks in at quarterback. Both these quarterbacks obviously getting a lot of playing time.
Exactly. And this is a third down, and I think they're going to exercise Chris's arm on this one.
Jackson split wide to the right side. Brown going to look that way, and he's got Jackson, and he is near the first down. Sent back by a swarm of Minutemen defenders.
He had the first down. He's got it.
They're going to give them on the forward progress.
Yes.
Julius Jackson, the first one on that stop. You see Jackson right there. And not before Robin Jackson pushed forward for the first down. Well, both these teams, sort of similar strategies, both trying to get the ball into the hands of their top receiver, O'Connell for Central and Robin Jackson for Highland Park. But no score. 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go here in the first quarter. 1st and 10, just short of midfield. And a little misdirection play. Up the middle, still on his feet is Dean. And good hard running. They still haven't brought him down, but the officials blow the whistle.
Actually, they had Deem at the line of scrimmage, but he kept his legs churning and was able to move and pick up about 6 yards.
One of the things Scott Howell wanted to make sure his team responded to and understood is this misdirection and the multiple offense of Highland. They'll mix it up a lot, and every once in a while they'll throw in a gadget play.
Yes.
2 wide receivers to the left, and the give goes off to the right side. Marcus Smith for a couple.
Be about 3rd and 2 after the placement.
Well, like a lot of coaches in the conference, Scott Howell was happy to see Kevin Mason, DeJuan Props, and Halos Reiser graduate.
Exactly. That was the big three last year, and those guys were very, very productive.
3rd down and 2, under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Mark Mayer back in at quarterback. Wide receivers either side. And Mayer going to give a quick toss. And a dangerous pass, intended that time for Marcus Smith. And that'll bring up a 4th down. Keep in mind that this is the first game of the season for both teams, so some nerves, perhaps. This is the first start at quarterback for both Highland quarterbacks, and they just need to get some contact and get a feel for the action.
Exactly, no question about that.
Well, the intended receiver, Marcus Smith, will be set to punt, and we have a flag.
12.
And
it's only a 5-yard penalty. Yeah, but what? It's not.
An early season mistake. The officials are calling 12 men on the field.
Dead ball. We got 12 players lined up for the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay.
Well, that'll push him back 5 yards, and back deep for Central will be Velvin Cobbins, number 20. There you see Cobbins.
He's a 10th grader.
And he's got some wheels.
Yes.
It's one of the things Central wants to improve upon this year is their special teams. And Cobbins going to get a chance to return this one. A fine kick. Brings him back to the 5-yard line. Cobbins will take it up the middle of the 10. And a flag is down. Cobbins still on his feet. Perhaps a illegal block. Up to the 10-yard line, and let's wait for the call. 34 seconds to go here in the first quarter. You're watching high school football.
Okay, we have a clip on the receiving team. 15-yard penalty.
Again, clipping. That'll push the Minutemen back to about the 7-yard line.
The St. Paul City Conference has a new innovation this year in that the referee has a microphone.
I like it.
Their ball.
And incidentally, I can hear it and understand it much better than I can the NFL referees.
Let's see if he can pick up the clip. Right there. Oh, you saw it. Great job by the camera crew. They picked it up right there. And Central going to start deep in their own territory, officially at the 5-yard line. They'll run out of the I formation. In motion to the right comes O'Connell. Hunkins got to give it to Phipps, and Phipps is met hard, but pushes his way forward. Corey Marlowe on the stop there. Good collision that time. Phipps is a strong runner. 5'11", 190-pounder. There you see him, and he can deliver a hit.
Jose Phipps is the younger brother of Pancho Phipps, who was an all-stater basketball player for St. Agnes when they won the state championship.
Well, that's the end of the first quarter. It is a scoreless first quarter. Highland Park and Central. You're watching coverage of high school football, St. Paul City Conference football on SPNN. Todd Johnson along with Kwame McDonald. This football game will be replayed on Wednesday, September 6th at 7:30 p.m. Again at Friday, September 8th at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday, September 10th at 2 p.m.
And while we're changing ends of the field here, let's talk about our officials. Billy Hafner, a veteran, with the white cap tonight. The umpire is Pat Schumer. The linesman is Bob Smith. The line judge is Jim Carness, and the back judge is Dan Pelletier. These are from the St. Paul Officials Association.
Kwame, one of the interesting sidelights to this game tonight is so many of these kids know each other. When John Heller tells his kids this is for bragging rights of the neighborhood, he's not just using a cliche. These kids literally live in the same neighborhoods, know each other. There's been kids who have transferred over the years, and there really is meaning to the kids in this game.
Yes, it's a very important game. Many of the kids play together at Oxford Playground and at Jimmy Lee
sure.
Playground. And so then they make their own minds as to where they want to go for whatever reasons, and then they meet each other. Now tonight, if you go over to one of our local restaurants, for fear of giving them free advertisement, I won't mention it, but my son and I usually go there, and we'll see all the players there with their fans.
Once the game's over, the friendships continue.
Exactly.
Hunkins, again, giving the ball. Fumble, ball is loose. Let's see who's got it.
Looks like Central.
Get the ball.
Looks like Central recovered.
Well, close call there for the Minutemen in their own territory. Here's the replay. And Phipps just coughed it up, but a very alert. Looks like Deshaun Poe there fell on it for the Minutemen, and they picked up a first down. We're underway here in the second quarter. First down from the 18-yard line. Two wide receivers to the left. There you go. Look at Nate Hunkins, one of the top quarterbacks in the conference. And he's looking left, and he's got O'Connell. And did he catch that thing?
Boy, he almost made one of those sensational catches. As he reached back, he was slipping and almost cradled it in his right hand, his right arm, rather.
Yeah, ball was just a little bit underthrown. And
here we go. There it is. Look at there.
Oh,
boy.
That was close. Must have just fallen out there.
Yep. Oh. If there's anybody who can make that catch, Casey O'Connell is him.
Well, he led the team in receptions last year, and nothing but big expectations for O'Connell, the senior.
Yep. He kind of burst on the scene as a kind of a surprise. At first they thought it was a fluke, but he held up all year and is considered one of the most dangerous in the conference this year.
Play action pass, and the ball is caught by the tight end, and he is knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
That's Simons. Eric Simons, 6'3", 225-pound junior.
And a good touch on the ball by Hunkins, and he gets up to the 35-yard line. That's good for a first down. Well, Hunkins keeping the ball short, little out patterns. You wonder at what point will he air it out. He's getting the cornerbacks to play up close.
Yep.
You just wonder when he's going to send him downfield.
Yeah, there's a strategy behind this.
Give to the fullback, and ball is loose. Let's see who's got it. Highland says they have it.
Highland does have the ball.
Well, mistakes, as we know, can be very costly, and in this case, Highland Park takes advantage and falls on the football, and the Scots will take over
change of possession
on the 35-yard line.
One of the things about that, referees, there you see it now. We'll get back to that in a minute.
Mayer rolling, looks to the right, and
too far again.
Way too far for Jackson. They're looking for a flag. I don't know if that ball was catchable.
No, it was not catchable.
And may have been a good non-call by the official.
It was. In fact, that's probably the second one in the of the last two plays. If you heard one of the officials on the microphone, the referee's microphone said to the referee, "Good no call." So that's one of the disadvantages of having that live microphone on the field. You can hear conversations between the referees.
Then again, it could have been one of the Highland coaches shouting "good no call." 2nd and 10 from the near hash mark. This is Brown giving the ball to Smith, spinning forward to about the 30-yard line. He's wrapped up that time by Darrell White. And that will bring up a third down. Here you get a look at Smith. Darrell White, 5'10", 228-pound senior on the tackle, a linebacker.
Ben Wilson just came in the game. He's 6'3", 270. I think they want him to... Yes, and he did. He was right there.
Smith again on the carry, but a lot of white jerseys there. You know, talking for a moment about the Central defense, as we mentioned in the open, Kwame, they've totally revamped their defense. Last year they went with a 5-3 front. This year they've installed a 4-3 pro front, and they want to do a lot of blitzing, a lot of stunting. They want this to be an aggressive attacking style defense.
Right, that's the work of Carlos Miles, who also played under Floyd Smaller and went on to play well at North Dakota State. Carlos Miles, the defensive coordinator.
Well, fourth down, and Brown looking the other way for a screen, and the ball is overthrown. Ball intended for Marcus Smith, and I tell you, he had some real estate in front of him had he caught that ball.
Yeah, that was not a bad throw, though, because actually Eric Simons had Marcus pretty well covered. If you were able to catch that, you throw it over here. Now there's Eric Simons. Now I don't think that there was enough room between the player and the sidelines for Marcus to catch that ball without Eric.
Of course, it's easy for us up here. We're on top. We can see everything developing. It's not so easy when you're down there and you have a couple of linemen charging in your face.
Someday they'll have it so that this can be done.
Well, Hunkins get another opportunity. First down from the 29-yard line. Wide receivers either side. Hunkins looking to the right, and he's got O'Connell, and he is met immediately. A fine tackle that time. Good coverage.
Eric Simons on the catch.
Good coverage that time by Russell Deem.
That was a long pass for about 5 yards.
I'm surprised at this point. Still everything short.
Yes.
But as you mentioned, they're trying to get the cornerbacks, the safety to come up close, and you may see a fly pattern here shortly.
Yeah, I think that this will be interesting here.
O'Connell comes in motion to the top of your screen.
Look for him.
There's again another out. Pass is overthrown, intended that time for Sean Boardman.
There's another case of the ball being in.
The other thing Central, I think, is trying to do is isolate, get one-on-one coverage with the cornerback. I think they they'll have the advantage speed-wise, as we have a timeout called by Central. 8:40 to go here in the first half. We are scoreless from Griffin Stadium in St. Paul. Todd Johnson along with Kwame McDonald. It's the opening game for St. Paul Central and Highland Park here on SPNN Channel 35. A pleasant evening out here, about 63 degrees and overcast at game time.
Scott Hall is obviously calling the offensive plays tonight. He's out among his players, talking to them about the offense. I don't think that he's very pleased at this point with the execution. Like he's looking for a little sharpness, but at this time of year, as you pointed out earlier, very difficult. Both of these teams are here first time. We've got some players who are playing their very first interscholastic basketball game. So there's going to be some nervousness out here.
A little different from last year's game, which was really an air attack, 48-45. Central tried a late comeback, but Highland hung on.
Right, and last year you had was filled with a bunch of veterans, guys who had played before and were honing in on their final seasons.
3rd and 5, O'Connell in motion to the near side. Hunkins looks to O'Connell, and he's got it. One-on-one coverage down the sidelines. O'Connell is finally dragged out of bounds, but not before a big gain. Tackled that time by Nick Foster, but Central trying to isolate O'Connell, one-on-one coverage, and he's very difficult to bring down or to cover, single coverage.
That was an excellent pass. O'Connell acted as though he was going downfield, and then he veered off to his right, and Hunkins put it right in his hands. Took a little off of it. It wasn't one of the bullets, but it was right there.
Well, so far this offense is everything as advertised. They're putting it in the air almost every down. I formation, wide receivers either side. Hunkins again drops back in a little draw, and that didn't fool anybody. Phipps on the draw, and he is met by Aaron Howard, who says hello and introduces himself to number 32, Jose Phipps.
Well, you can see why they're throwing the ball. They're not doing much on the ground as yet. The gains that they're making have been on the pass plays.
Again, what's at stake here is the musket. That's the trophy, the traveling trophy between these two schools. We'll give you a look at it here in a moment after this play. 2nd down and 10. Slot back to the right. Hunkins, pass over the middle, intended for O'Connell, is incomplete. Overshot him a little bit.
That was Eric Simons. He wasn't quite ready for it. Here's the musket.
There you get a look at it.
Now, the musket, the original musket was stolen some years ago, and John Heller came across this one in the pawn shop, I think it was. And
he'll tell you it was an antique shop.
Yeah. and he picked it up. Let's revise that language. It was an antique shop. And he got it together and got it reconditioned. And there it is.
3rd down. Hunkins, again, back to pass, under pressure. He's got O'Connell over the middle, and O'Connell is near the 1st down. Boy, Hunkins rifled it in there, and O'Connell was probably a little more wide open than head coach John Heller would like. There was no defender within 5 yards of him.
Yeah, but they defended it well enough to keep it from going for a 1st down. It is now 4th and 3.
Both coaches rolling the dice on 4th down so far tonight.
There's no punting inside the 40.
O'Connell in motion to the left. He'll have some company up there. Hunkins drops back to pass over the middle for the tight end, and he's caught it. Simons at the 10-yard line.
Eric Simons showed good hands on that one as he leaped in the air to get that, and here we go again. Look at it.
Real soft hands. Just found the gap in the defense, and that's good for the 1st down. 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
Eric's got those basketball hands. He can play basketball very well. He should start for Central this year.
1st down from the 11-yard line. Pro set formation. Hunkins, play action pass, rolling to the left, looking downfield, and it is caught and then dropped. Simons had it and couldn't hang on.
Had Simons not caught that, hit that ball, Casey O'Connell was waiting for it.
Well, he'd like to have that one back. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Looks like somebody's trying to call a timeout. Highland Park called a timeout.
That was one of those passes, just had too much time to think about it. He was wide open and just couldn't hold on.
See, Scotty is meandering out to give his young charges some wisdom.
There's a lot of enthusiasm, as we've talked about, Kwame, with this Central squad, and to kind of underscore their new commitment. Over the summer, Central High School was under renovation, and the players could not use the school, the facilities to work out and so forth. So on their own, they joined the local YMCA and worked out together as a team. And according to Coach Howell, physically and condition-wise, they're ahead of where they were last year.
Oh, no question about it. In fact, I would say that they may well be in better condition and shape than they've been in years. Scott Howell is going to do a fine job, and John Heller acknowledged that earlier on as we talked with him.
Well, he'd like to punch one in here from the 11-yard line. Two wide receivers to the right. O'Connell again comes in motion to the left. And again, Hunkins going to roll to his left. And the ball is deflected, knocked down by Aaron Howard. Hunkins executes that play well, being a left-handed quarterback.
Yes, he does.
Rolling to his left, very effective.
You know, that's difficult to defend as well, because most defenses are geared to defend against a right-handed quarterback. And I think John Heller has his players adjusting very well.
Boardman is split wide to the left side. O'Connell to the right. Hunkins, quick drop, and he's got O'Connell trying to shed a tackler. And he picks up a couple. Fine defensive play that time, Kwame, by Chris Deem again.
Yes, and that was a fine catch because that ball had some smoke on it.
Yeah.
And
there you see Hunkins just taking that one or two step drop back, but pretty good.
They've called a timeout 4 seconds ago.
Pretty good wrap-up tackle that time by Deem. Help also coming in from Nick Foster.
Right.
As we said at the top, Highland teams are always well coached. They do the fundamentals well. You won't see a lot of arm tackling. They'll tackle through the opposing player.
Yeah. Here's what I like about Scott Howell. If you noticed, he and Hunkins were walking and talking, and Hunkins was doing a lot of the talking. I'm sure that what Scott did was to absorb what Hunkins had to say and then evaluate it and determine whether or not that would fit into the scheme of things right now. It's very good because those two communicate very well and have high regard for each other.
How unusual is this, Kwame? You see Scott Howell in the middle of the huddle on the field. You see head coaches often join the team on the field?
Well, I think you're going to see that this year because Scott has about 6 or 7 new coaches. And until they're all surely understanding each other, this is going to happen.
4th down from the 5-yard line. They're going for it. Rolling to the left side, under pressure, thrown in the end zone. It is caught by Phipps. Touchdown! Jose Phipps in the far corner of the end zone, and the Minutemen are on the board first.
Jose Phipps showed a lot of athleticism on that one because he had to go high. And there again is an all-around athlete, Jose Phipps, who is a great basketball player as well and will more than likely start for St. Paul Central this year. Jose Phipps is a good athlete.
Had some injury problems last year, but he's at full strength now and showed you some of his ability.
And Jose is tough. He has inner strength. Very determined young man.
Marinek's extra point is no good. Wide to the right, but Central will settle for a 6-0 lead.
He had good foot in that one. It just went off to his right a little bit.
Let's get a look at the replay, Kwame, and you'll see Hunkins rolled to the left and spotted Phipps. Oh, a great catch.
Yeah.
And good job hanging on to the football. He took a pretty good shot by Matt Glaze, but he hung on, and Central takes a 6-0 lead.
With 5:32 left in the first half.
Marinek will kick off for Central. Chris Deem back deep for the Scots. And it'll be Deem at his 10-yard line. Deem still on his feet. Gets it up near the 30-yard line. And that's where the Highland offense will take over. 5:24 to go here in the first half. Chris Deem been a busy Highland Scot so far this evening.
Yes, he has. And he's a young man who's a very versatile and a good, tough player. John Heller likes him a lot.
Seen him on both sides of the ball as well as special teams.
Exactly.
Mark Mayer gonna start things off for the Scots. Smith in motion, and he gets the pitch back. Here he goes. He's thrown downfield. He's got Jackson and just overshoots him. Well, we said a few moments ago that Highland will open up their playbook a bit, and this one looked good. Smith got the pitch out, and he had Robin Jackson, but Jackson was just overthrown.
Tell you one thing about Robin, if the ball hits him, he's going to keep it and go with it. That stretched a little bit. 5:19 left in the half.
Second down from the 31. Peter Brown back in at quarterback. Brown throws off to the near side. It's caught and dropped. Nick Foster had it, but couldn't hang on.
Well, I think Nick was looking where he was going before he had control of the ball. That happens to a lot of receivers. They want to make sure that they're going. Now, he had a clear field because he came under, and Robin Jackson stretched the defense out.
Well, you'll see this at all levels of football, quite frankly.
Oh,
you see this in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
These guys want to turn the corner, but back to the basics. Got to grab that football first. Russell Deem out to the left side. Mayer looks left, throws, he's got his man, and he is caught and dropped immediately. Fine catch that time.
Yeah, it looks like he made the first down, though. Very close.
Nick Foster makes up for that last one, and he hangs on to this one, but he took a pretty good shot. Did a good job hanging on to the football, but that's good for a first down. Nick Foster, 5'10", 165-pound senior, and look at that hit.
Yeah, well, he concentrated on that one.
Boykins on the hit for Central, but a first down. Brown in it again at quarterback. Rolls to the right side. And pass is caught, but dropped immediately. Caught that time by Peter Greisbeck.
Julius Jackson was in on that play as well. Very good coverage on that play.
They may have lost a couple on that.
In fact, they did.
Well, the public address announcer's calling it 2nd and 10. Looks more like 2nd and 12.
I would have to agree with you. Maybe it's because we're in the same spot.
Brown again. Will pass, and it's caught again by Foster, and he picks up another first down. Well, Highland obviously sees a seam that's open as the quarterback will roll to the left, and there's an open field between the cornerbacks and the linebackers, and that's right where they're going, right there.
I think what you're seeing is the left timeout Central. I think Scott is coming in to try to make an adjustment.
Yeah, he sees the same thing we do.
Yes, and what's happening there, that's not Scott Howell out there. That's, let me see, who is that? Carlos Miles, probably. I think that's Carlos coming to make an adjustment, because what they're doing, they're sending a wide receiver out long, and that stretches the defense, and then they're delaying and bringing Foster underneath. And they've tried that play, I think, 4 out of the last 5 plays. They've run that same play, and it's worked every time.
It's one of the fun things about watching football. And in many ways, it's like a chess match.
Yes.
Both coaches are trying to find the weakness in the other coaches and the other defenses, and they all adjust their players, and it's a lot of fun to watch. There you can look at some of the fans out here enjoying tonight's game.
Yep.
New lighting system here at Griffin Stadium, and so far so good. I think this adds a lot more illumination to this field than the system they had previously.
Oh, yes, there's no question about it. And then the other thing is that the groundskeepers had this field in probably the best shape it's been in for the first game in years.
Very good. Brown looking right for Jackson, and Jackson defended well that time.
Jose.
By Julius Jackson again.
Yep.
Brown
Julius
coming
Jackson
off the field.
did a great job.
Once again, no real surprise. Highland trying to get the ball into the hands of Jackson. Perhaps you might see them use Jackson like Central has used O'Connell. Try to give it on short slants.
Yes.
2nd down and 10. And a little misdirection play, but that doesn't fool anyone. Deem still on his feet. Finally wrapped up that time by Simons. You've heard us call his name a few times.
Oh, yes,
tonight.
that's right. And Charles Cornelius was in on that one also. I think they figured out the defense for that play now. Although they went to the right side, and usually they've been coming to the left with that play, but went to the right that time, and Central was ready for it.
Highland executes that well. They've done that well for years, and
yes,
it's a challenge for the defense to stay in their lanes. Back to pass again for Jackson, and nothing doing. Peter Brown looking for Jackson, but there were 3 white jerseys with him. That'll bring up a 4th down. And this time, Highland Park is going to be punting the football.
4th and 10.
Again, here you get a look at it, and just good coverage that time by Central.
Yeah, good coverage, and it's a smart pass as well.
Cobbins will be deep for Central. And Smith back to punt, rushes on, and he just gets it off, and a beautiful kick. And no fair catch, ball is loose. Fumble, let's see who's got it. Highland Park falls on it, and they have the football. Well, that was a nice high kick that time by Smith. And Velvin Cobbins did not call for the fair catch, and he was met immediately by a couple of red jerseys. Ball popped loose, and a big break for Highland Park.
I don't think that Coach Howell coached that play. I think that he would have rather he fair caught that ball or just let it hit the ground.
Grice back to the left. Give goes this time to Smith up the middle, and he plunges his way forward near the goal line. Marcus Smith
picked his hole very well. He started to the right, saw something down the middle, and took advantage of it.
Smith would like to pick up where Halos Reiser left off, and he's confident he can do that. Marlowe ahead of him as fullback. He'll be looking for that lead block. And the give goes to Smith. And let's see, is he in? He is very near, and he is in.
Yes.
There you see the signal. Marcus Smith on a 2-yard touchdown plunge. They take advantage of the fumbled punt. And Highland Park ties this one up. At 2:27 to go here in the first half, Marcus Smith on a 2-yard touchdown plunge. And of course that was set up. And let's see. Oh my goodness. That ball That touchdown is being called back, a motion penalty. Take the points off the scoreboard, and it is back to the 10-yard line.
2:27 left.
Mayer looking right, and the ball is knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
That was Eric. Eric Simons blocked that one.
Simons is having a heck of a game.
Yeah, he went up from his defensive end position and just knocked that ball down.
Boy, that penalty seemed to deflate the Highland Park offense a bit.
Yeah, I think it did. And it kind of fired up the defense of Central.
Third down from the 7. Pitch back goes to Smith. Smith reverses his direction. Smith still on his feet. And let's see.
That's a tremendous effort by Marcus.
We have a timeout on the field. Well, Highland desperately trying to get in the end zone. Marcus Smith almost single-handedly got there. Ball went to the right side. He reversed his direction, came back across the grain, and one more block, he may have been in the end zone.
That's right. There must be something wrong with the scoreboard. It has the visitor 42 and the home team 6.
Well, it's the first night for everybody here, including the scoreboard operator.
So I think what they were trying to do is, I saw them, they had put the 6 points up, and they were trying to erase it, and now it's 43. But we'll correct that. We'll get that corrected.
Well, Highland Park traditionally has been a very fast team, and they have some speed again this year, but again, a very different team from last year when that's what they were all about. They were thunder and lightning.
They were very explosive last year.
Central, of course, lost a little bit of speed themselves. Rasheem Sharp, among others.
Yes, Rasheem is down at Rochester Community College right now, Community and Technical College, and scored a touchdown last week.
I think he'd like to be wearing maroon and gold someday.
I think so. They're certainly keeping up with him over there.
Well, it's 4th down from the 4. Pitch back goes to Smith, looking for a block, and he is in for the touchdown. Marcus Smith around left end from 4 yards out, and they get the 6 points back anyway. With just under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We are tied at 6. And one of the better field goal kicker and place kickers in the conference will set to try the extra point. And that's Matt Stern. Dan Stern, excuse me. And as soon as I say that, the kick is short and no good. May have been some trouble with the snap.
It looked like it was low. At halftime, we're going to interview Scott Howell, Central, John Heller of Highland Park, and if we can squeeze it in, we're asking Rich Callett of Cretan-Durham Hall to come down. Rich is walking with a new hip and told us that he would go ahead and make the trek down the steps to meet us on the field, where we will have a halftime interview with him.
He's got a pretty good quarterback on his team again this year.
Well, Joey Mauer's a great quarterback, a good off guard, small forward on the basketball team, and a catcher and relief pitcher in baseball. He can do it all, and he's a hitter.
And a very short kick, fielded at about the 35-yard line, still on his feet, and out to the 40-yard line. That was Deshaun Poe. Looked as though Kevin Tindall got the top of the football when he kicked it and spun shorter than he had intended. From the 39-yard line, Central will take over. 1:51 to go.
Now, in this series, I think we can expect Hunkins to go long.
Hunkins drops back to pass. Looking right over the middle, and it's caught by O'Connell at the 40-yard line. Boy, that was smooth as silk. Excellent pattern run that time by O'Connell, and Hunkins just laid it right in on the money. Here's the replay, and there you have it. Just threaded the needle,
and there were 6 red shirts in the vicinity.
Well, Hunkins is the real deal. He's a Division I football prospect. A couple of Big 10 teams and Big 12 teams we hear are interested in number 14.
Well, he's also a great baseball player.
And he rolls to the left. Looking again for O'Connell, and he's caught it. And let's see if they're going to rule a catch.
Yeah, they'll rule it a catch, but he hit the ground as soon as he caught it. He wanted to get back up and run, but wasn't able to do that.
You sense a rhythm now starting between Hunkins and O'Connell.
Exactly.
1:12 to go. And a timeout is called by Highland Park, and probably a good move by John Heller. They want to slow this thing down a little bit and make sure they have the right coverage in there on O'Connell.
Yeah, they don't want Central to go in with a lead.
There may not be a good defense to stop Hunkins and O'Connell.
It doesn't look like it, does it? And Highland Park has a nice defensive unit in there, especially in the backfield. Their cornerbacks and safety are all quite good players.
A pretty good crowd on hand tonight. You can look at the Highland Park sideline.
Not bad at all for a pre-school.
Well, they're fired up.
Not bad for a preschool crowd. The kids have not been in class yet. And you've got a nice crowd out here. Students, parents, and fans. Alumni are all out here to see this neighborhood battle.
1:11 to go. We are tied at 6 here from Griffin Stadium in St. Paul. Todd Johnson along with Kwame McDonald. It's been an entertaining game so far, and Nate Hunkins will try to punch one in for Central. Again, rolling to the left, under pressure, swings it off to the right side to Phipps, and he's got a lot of running room. Phipps looking for the block down the right side. Phipps still on his feet and finally knocked out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Boy, that was a well-executed play again by Hunkins. He rolled to the left and threw the ball across the field to the right side, and Hunkins had nothing but white jerseys.
There we see it again.
And there you see Phipps, and did a fine job and gets the ball near the 10-yard line. 1 minute to go on the button.
Plenty of time. They don't have to rush it.
Hunkins again rolling to the left side, looking for O'Connell, and he lofts it out of bounds.
Smart play.
Well, that's a senior quarterback for you. He wasn't going to force it. O'Connell had a couple of Highland defensive backs surrounding him, and sometimes you don't even see college or pro quarterbacks have the patience and the maturity to do that.
That's right. You can hear the defensive coaches on Highland Park's team admonishing their charges to get off the ball.
53 seconds to go, 2nd down and 10. Who else? O'Connell in motion to the top of your screen. Hunkins back to pass, looking for O'Connell, and it's picked off! Down the right sidelines! Picked off! It's Marcus Smith, one man to beat, and he's dragged down by Hunkins. Oh my, Marcus Smith, one man to beat, and he nearly took that one coast to coast. Oh, a big defensive play by Marcus Smith, the senior, and he showed you there, he can do it on both ends. He scored a touchdown just a few minutes ago, and there he picks off O'Connell. Well, they went to the well one too many times.
Here comes the replay.
He just read that one beautifully, and if it weren't for Hunkins' 4.7 speed, Highland would have been leading at this point. There you see Hunkins shows his athletic ability, and what a big play to close out the second half here. Highland Park now, see if they can punch it in. Under pressure, Mayer gets it off, but it's just too far, intended for Nick Foster, but a flag on the play. Let's see what it is. Is it interference?
That's where the interference would be called. That's what I'm looking at.
Holding on the defense. 10-yard penalty.
Well, Highland will take that as well.
Yes. On the interception, it's almost as if Marcus was playing possum the whole game, waiting for the right time, because they've made that play a lot and been successful at it.
Well, sometimes you can go to the well one too many times.
That's right.
Smith, very alert, and he'll get a few ribs from his teammate for not taking that one down the sideline. First down. Brown, little delay to Deem, and he punches his way forward. 28 seconds and counting. Highland in a hurry-up offense, no huddle. Peter Brown calling the signals. Let's see if he just downs it. And pumps once, and he throws, and it's caught out on the left sideline. And smartly getting out of bounds that time is Peter Greisbeck. And Greisbeck near the first down.
Called a penalty on probably unnecessary roughness as the central player rode the
5-yard face mask on the defense.
Face mask, okay.
Well, things starting to fall apart here for the Minutemen. Just 9 seconds to go on the clock. Again, Dan Stern, a very solid kicker. And there you see the face mask right there. Ball sitting at the 19-yard line.
That central player will hear about that one because he didn't even need to touch
it. Was out of bounds, yeah.
He was on his way out of bounds to stop the clock.
Well, perhaps one more chance. Robin Jackson wide to the right side. Let's see if they go to him. Greisbeck to the left. They're looking for Jackson, and this one will be overthrown. Ball was closer that time to Julius Jackson.
Yes, it was.
Well, 5 seconds on the clock. Will they make a field goal attempt? Indeed they will. Number 29, Dan Stern. He's a junior soccer player. He participated in Highland's upset win the other night against Holy Angels. Ball is down, the kick is up, and it is just short. Hits the right goalpost, and that's where the half will end. Our score from Griffin Stadium in St. Paul is Highland Park 6 and St. Paul Central 6. You're watching high school football on SPNN.
Kwame McDonald here with Rich Kallick, the head coach at Cretin-Derham Hall. Rich, give us some of your observations of tonight's game.
It's exciting, well-played ball game between two neighborhood rivals. I think you expect that, and I'm real happy for Scotty Howell. His team's well-prepared, well-coached, and John Heller, always does a great job.
Exactly. Rich, give us your view of the league. How is it going to play out for us this year?
Well, I'll tell you what, pretty competitive teams. People don't give us enough credit here. I think the last couple of years, our ball club's been well-prepared because of the competition we've faced. Coley McDonough does a great job. Johnson's always tough, and some of the young guys are doing a real nice job here. So I think it's going to be a battle up and down the league.
Right. Rich, some people are saying that this is your finest team. How do you compare it?
Well, I'll tell you, it's hard to beat last year. The kids came along and did very, very well. We improved week from week. I will say this might be one of our better starts. We didn't have a lot of the first game mistakes last night, and we played very well on both sides of the ball, but we got to keep getting better.
Rich, everybody in town knows that you got a new hip. How's that coming along?
Oh, it's fantastic, Kwame. The pain that's been with me for 6 or 7 years or 8 years is gone, and it's getting better every day. It's been a little over 5 months now, and I can do a lot of things. In fact, I jogged off the field without limping, I think, for the first time in a long time.
Rich, thank you for coming by, and we're glad to see you up and around.
Thanks a lot, Kwame. Appreciate it.
Kwame McDonald, SPNN Sports.
And before tonight's game, Kwame McDonald had a chance to speak with the head coach of Highland Park, John Heller.
Kwame McDonald with John Heller, Highland Park's coach. John, I see the musket here on your bench. You plan to keep it?
Well, we're going to give it a whirl. I think Scotty's done a nice job of getting a new program underway there. I think he's going to do a good job. He's young and enthusiastic. If we've got anything on our side tonight, we've got tradition. We've had the musket 5 years in a row and 8 out of the last 10.
Right. Now, John, what do you expect to throw at him, if you can tell us that without giving away all your secrets?
Well, I'd like to think we're probably a little better than they are up front.
Mm-hmm.
I think their receivers and running backs are probably better than us. So there's kind of a trade-off there. What you might see is us take 5 and 6 minutes to score and them take a minute to score.
Yeah. All right, that should give us a nice game tonight, John. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you, Kwame. It should be a great game. This is a neighborhood rivalry and a good, clean game every year.
Thank you, John.
I think John Heller was right on the money. This is an excellent, very competitive game tonight. Kwame also had a chance to talk to the new head coach of St. Paul Central, Scotty Howell, and Scotty had this to say.
Kwame McDonald here with Scott Howell, Minutemen coach from Central High School. Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Kwame. I'm doing a little nervous, but I'm doing all right.
All right, so what are you going to throw at them tonight, Scott? You can tell us.
I can't tell you right now. They may be listening and looking right now. Hopefully throw a little bit of everything at them. We'll see what we can do. We'll take this first quarter and see what works and what doesn't.
Somebody told me that you got a real tough passing attack this year. Are you going to do anything on the ground in addition?
Well, we want to get Jose Phipps at least 15 to 20 carries every game. And so we want to try to keep the offense as balanced as we can. Whatever working, we'll take.
Okay. Scotty, I want to thank you for coming over, being with us, and good luck tonight.
Thanks a lot, Kwame.
Welcome back to Griffin Stadium in St. Paul. Todd Johnson along with Kwame McDonald. There you see our score, 6-6. Kwame, tonight is the first game for head coach Scott Howell and also the first game for a number of assistant coaches of his.
Yes, it is. Scott Howell has assembled perhaps the most interesting assistant coaching staff, perhaps in the United States. You have Scott Howell, and then you have John Swain, former Viking, who works in corrections. Carlos Miles, who is also in corrections. Michael Simmons, a young man who came from out of the state. Dr. David Gubrud, who's a former athlete at Central, went on to become the only student in history, NC2A history, to make All-American academic football in all 4 years. William Harvell is a sheriff. Bruce Beneke is a longtime attorney. And we have William Reese. Nate Galloway is the athletic director, band director Matt Oyen, and the principal Mary McBee, and the superintendent is Pat Harvey. Also assisting John Heller is Bo Phillips, Bill Acre, David Zachick, David DeMagno, Wade Tobias, John Allen. John Allen, formerly a great football player at Highland Park. The cheerleading supervisor is Rhonda Houston. And, of course, the superintendent again, Patricia Harvey. Well, what are we looking for this time in the second half?
Well, these two teams, again, they all know each other very well, and perhaps a few nerves on both sides in the first half. I think in the second half, we'll see these teams settle down a bit. They've got that first half under their belts. We saw some overthrows. We saw some fumbles. We saw a few missed tackles. So I think you're going to see in the second half perhaps a little more intensity on both teams. I'm sure both coaches and coaching staffs, as you mentioned, had a lot of things to say at halftime.
And I'm glad to see that Scott Howell has maintained his confidence in Velvin Cobbins, who made the error down there, and he's back to receive this kickoff.
Those things have a funny way of making up for themselves.
Yes.
And Tyndall this time gets a pretty good boot into it, and it is caught that time by Cobbins, and he's looking for a hole. Cobbins still on his feet, just what we said, around the right side. Cobbins still going, and he's finally dragged down at the 40-yard line. Velvin Cobbins, we just said a moment ago, these things have a way of working themselves out, and there you see Cobbins breaks a big one down the right side.
Well, Cobbins is back on the team. We can't see it, but I'm sure there's a big smile on the faces of Velvin Cobbins and Coach Scott Howell.
Well, he showed great speed there, just a sophomore, 5'10", 175-pounder, and we mentioned at the Open, Central would like to improve on their special teams, and they got a couple of soccer players kicking, and got a couple of sprinters also returning punts. So they're going to pull out all the stops, and they're at the 40-yard line now. First down, Nate Hunkins out of the I formation. And the give goes to Phipps. Little delay, and he runs right over one of the defenders near the first down marker. He just lowered his head at Ricky Lee and gave a hit himself.
Yes, he did. That is perhaps his best carry tonight.
Good job by that offensive line opening up a nice hole.
Exactly. It gave him a little room. He could see something that time. Before, he had to stick his head down, and he didn't have a lot of sight.
Hunkins, again, give goes this time to the fullback Tolbert, and he is near the first down.
Where's the flag?
Chris Tolbert.
And he was hit that time by Corey Marlowe.
Tolbert is a punishing blocker himself and showed you there what he can do with the football. There you'll get a look at the fullback right there. Boy, great camera work by the guys down on the field.
Exactly.
Wrapped up that time by Corey Marlowe. 3rd down and 2. O'Connell. Ball is on the ground, but he picks it right up and gives it to Phipps for the 1st down. Boy, Hunkins was Johnny on the spot. The ball hit the ground, just picked it up, gave it to Phipps as if nothing had it gone wrong.
Exactly. You are watching SPNN Channel 35. Upcoming games on SPNN. On Thursday the 7th, you'll see Como against Arlington. On the 15th, it'll be Arlington against Central. The 29th of September, Harding against Humboldt.
1st down from the 26-yard line. O'Connell, single coverage at the top of your screen, but they give it to Phipps. And Phipps up the middle for a few yards. Wrestled down that time. Matt Glaze in on the stop.
It looks like Central's offensive line has got itself a little more together now, and it's opening some holes for Phipps. So Phipps has had about 3 or 4 nice carries already in this 2nd half. On October 7th, you can see Johnson against Highland. And on the 20th, you'll see the Twin Cities game. Whoever the champion of the city conferences will be playing the champion of Minneapolis.
2 yards on that last pickup, 2nd and 8. And Hunkins under pressure, gets away from one man. You're going to get a face mask penalty. Hunkins still on his feet, and he's driven down that time. But he had his face mask grab. Marvin Scroggins on the tackle, but he's going to...
5-yard face mask on the defense. 5-yard down. 5-yard penalty.
We've seen an unusual number of face mask penalties tonight. Inadvertent ones.
Yes. The inadvertent one is 5 yards, and if it's a head twister.
There, wow.
Yep. If it's a real head twister, then they try to give 15.
Mike Gavin was trying to grab a jersey, but got a face mask instead. Well, I tell you, hats off to the camera crew tonight, doing an excellent job.
Yes, they are.
As always, I might add.
Yep. SPN has a 100% volunteer crew tonight televising this game. And we want to give special thanks to all of the people who are contributing their time and talent to help make this important community programming happen. We couldn't do it without the camera crew.
Double tight end formation now out of the eye. And the give goes to Phipps around the right side. Phipps has a block, and he is down to the 5-yard line. You know who threw a good block there was Casey O'Connell on the far side.
Yes, he did. Casey O'Connell opened that. They're down on about the 8.
Yeah, Phipps started off the right guard and then saw a hole to the right and headed right for O'Connell, and O'Connell held off the left cornerback and allowed that play to continue. 1st down.
It goes to show you that no matter what kind of runner you are, if there are no holes, you won't run very far.
Hunkins rolling to his left, got a block, throws it over the middle, and it is caught by Tolbert. And he is tackled immediately. Aaron Howard on the bottom of that pile.
That looks like about a 5-yard gain.
And we got a Highland Scott, a little slow in getting up. And the trainers immediately come out onto the field.
There he is lying on the ground there. You know, we always have openings here for volunteers who would like to be a part of the video crew, and you can come and get training. All you have to do is call Rachel Alwyn, who is the production coordinator, at 298-8907. Now, if you don't have your pen and pencil there right now, go ahead and get it, and we'll tell you about this again. Ed Sanders is our training coordinator, and his number is 298-8914. You can sign up for the training classes and join our volunteer crew. One of the things that happens with SPNN, we're nonprofit, and so we often look for sponsorship. Local businesses and individuals help support the efforts in producing community television. If you would like to sponsor TV coverage of St. Paul High School sports, please call Rachel Alwyn. And may I repeat, 298-8907. You can get your business logo included in the TV coverage along with some nice promotions from the announcers during the game. It's worthwhile promotion for you, and more importantly, you're giving a gift to high school athletes by giving them a chance to be on television. We really need your help to keep making television coverage of these games possible. Back to the action.
There you see, that was Chris Deem, number 48, who's had a terrific game, and he walks off the field, obviously in some pain, but we are back to action as the give goes up the middle, and let's see if he is in. He is in for the touchdown. And Central goes on top by a score of 12-6. A 5-yard run up the middle, and Central on top. Looked like Tolbert, the fullback.
We'll have a replay of that touchdown right after this attempted extra point.
Well, big extra point this time. And this one is up and good.
Split the uprights.
Joseph Marinac.
All right, now we're going to see the replay of the touchdown.
And it's Tolbert off the right guard, and he is in for the touchdown.
He did a very good job of picking his way. Chris Deem is very upset. He does not want to not be in this game. He's a very tough kid. He's walking it off. He's trying. We're going to see Chris again. Chris does not want to not play.
Well, there you go. Look at Joseph Marinac. He's a soccer player, and he just put the Minutemen on top by a score of 13-7 with an extra point. And perhaps the momentum now shifting towards the home Minutemen. And another short kickoff fielded by Jackson. And he hit the ground and the whistle blows, and that's where the Scots will take over at the 28-yard line.
I know Jackson was trying to field that one in the air because I think he thinks he saw some daylight.
There you get a look at Robin Jackson. He's the big play receiver for Highland Park.
And also a very excellent basketball player. He plays the off guard on Highland's very fine team. They're expecting to do a lot this year. Out there on Snelling Avenue.
And Mayer going to give the ball up the middle. Big hole near the 40-yard line. And is that Dean back in the game? It is.
First down.
There you get a look, Kwame. Chris Deem, you saw him a moment ago on the sidelines with that injury. He comes right back.
That's right. And Tom Norton and Casey O'Donnell were the ones who brought him down. You can't keep a good man down, as they say.
Deem in the tailback spot, and he gives it again. And Deem may lose one this time. Fine tackle that time by Ben Laffin, linebacker. He just hung on to the ankles and waited for some help.
Ben Wilson also assisted on that play. Big Ben Wilson, 270-pounder.
Well, one of the reasons Chris Deem is in at tailback is the starting tailback, Marcus Smith, is on the sidelines, and the trainers are looking at him.
Sure are. In fact, his jersey is off.
You know, it's one of the things all the coaches share. A difficulty is they really can't afford to have a player go down. So many of these guys play on both sides of the football. And the pitch back goes, Mayer, and he throws, and this is picked off. Picked off by O'Connell, and he is knocked out of bounds. Well, that one backfired. Mayer lined up in the slot. They pitched it back to him, and Central read it the whole way. Casey O'Connell, another two-way player, obviously, picked that one off, and Central now in Highland territory.
You know, that was an interesting, at least I had an interesting reaction to that play, because when I saw that ball going, and number 48, there it is. When you see number 48 there, you don't figure he's going to knock it down. Figure he's going to catch that ball and do something with it.
Well, Central going to try to capitalize. They lead 13-6. And they take over at the 35-yard line. Back to pass is Hunkins. He's going for it all. He's got O'Connell at the 10, the 5. Touchdown Central. Nate Hunkins to Casey O'Connell. That's the play we expected. And he strikes it deep. A 35-yard touchdown pass, and Central adds to their lead.
We're going to see that play a lot this year.
Boy, Nate Hunkins had him on the outside and laid it in there perfectly, and O'Connell caught it, had about 10 yards to take it in, and he did.
What made it so good is he laid it up in the air and let O'Connell come under it.
Extra point is up and good, and Central now with a 20-6 lead, courtesy of a 35-yard touchdown pass from Nate Hunkins to Casey O'Connell. We talked about it in the first half, Kwame. They kept doing the short passes, the slants, the out. We were wondering when they were going to go long, and there they did it on the first play following the turnover, and it's good for 6.
And here's the touchdown coming up. There it is. See how he lofts it up high? O'Connell gets under it. Nothing but pay dirt.
So a major shift in momentum here. 20-6 is our score. Hunkins to O'Connell. And Highland, no doubt, would like to strike back early. Marinek set to kick off. And Deem going to field it at the 15. Looking for a block at the 20. Deem still on his feet down the left sideline. He's got one man to beat. Chris Deem to the 20 and finally brought down to the 15-yard line. This young man has played a marvelous football game.
I didn't know that Deem was that fast a runner. He really took off when he got into the open out there. He has a good vision of the field, and he can change directions very well.
Well, we saw him down on the sidelines. It looked like he may be out for the game. He comes in on offense, picks up about a 10-yard run, and there on the kickoff, nearly takes it all the way for the touchdown. Here's another look at it, and just picked his blocks well, and one more block away from the 15, and a little handoff up the middle. Little mixed direction play. Nick Foster on the carry, and he fights his way forward. You never know what's going to happen when these two teams meet, Kwame.
That's for sure, and the game isn't over, as Yogi Berra says, until it's over.
Highland again, switching off at quarterback. Peter Brown, the baseball player. turned football player is in now.
And he's wearing number 13. He's not superstitious at all.
He'd like to get a touchdown and put 13 on the board. And the give goes to Dean, but he is met immediately and wrestled down that time by Phipps.
He still got 3 yards that he shouldn't have gotten out of that play. Kept his legs churning and running, and Phipps is a tough player himself.
Phipps has been on the receiving end of a few of those.
Yes, he has.
3rd down and 4. As you see the replay, and the pitch back goes now to the left side, looking for a block and a fine tackle. That time, Russell Deem on the run, but he could not get around the left side.
Yeah, they're down near pay dirt. It will be 4th down and about a yard. 4th and 1 for a 1st down on about the 4.
Brown gives it to Marlowe, the fullback.
Looks like he got it to me. It's going to be close.
And let's see as they unpile everybody. And he would appear to have the 1st down, and he does.
He does.
Heard that one loud and clear.
Yes, sir.
So Highland Park, big 4th down conversion. As Corey Marlowe just muscles his way off right guard. And Highland Park now 1st down from the 4-yard line. Jackson wide to the right side. Marlowe, the setback, and the give goes to Marlowe. And he is wrestled from behind. Still wrestled to the ground.
It looks like he gained a couple on that one.
Ray McCoy in on that stop.
2nd and 2 to go. I don't think we'll be seeing any passing here.
Second down. And Mayer going to call his own number, and he is pushed backwards for a loss. Ray McCoy again in there for Central, and he does a little sack dance there. That'll bring up 3rd down. Boy, Highlands tried to go inside twice, and they've met nothing but a brick wall there for...
And they don't have Marcus to take it around the outside. Maybe Deem can do it.
Chris Tolbert also in on that stop. 3rd down. Let's see if they take it outside. Brown at quarterback. Quick throw. It's deflected. And it looks like Brown caught his own pass. Oh, you saw that a couple years ago when Brad Johnson for the Vikings caught his own pass.
Exactly.
There Peter Brown threw the pass. It was deflected right into his own arms. But unfortunately for Brown, he couldn't get around the end for a touchdown.
It's 4th down and still 2.
Well, let's see. He got hit on the replay, but alertly picked up the loose ball.
Mayer's back in.
The defensive line's getting good penetration, Kwame.
I'm going to say that Chris Deem is going to get this ball.
Well, right before the play, a timeout called by Central. They want to make sure they have the right defensive look, as this is a big play in this football game. Ball at the 4-yard line. Well, Coach, what would you call? 4th and 4, you're down by 14 points. You got to punch it in. You've tried it up the middle 3 times.
Chris Deem on a misdirection.
Up the middle? How about you pull the option out of the playbook, roll the option to the right side?
Well, yeah, Deem can run that one too, but Deem's going to have the ball. And I think they're gonna have a misdirection play, and it'll go off tackle, off guard.
Well, give credit to that central defensive line. They just had tremendous penetration on the last 3 offensive plays. They've been in the backfield practically as the ball was being handed off.
Knowing John Heller, we may see a play we've never seen before.
Well, now would be the time to pull it out. Minute 46 to go, third quarter. A lot of excitement here. The crowd getting into this one. The Highland players trying to encourage their fans to make a little noise. Mayer, and he pitches it off to the right side to Dean, but we have a whistle and a flag. Did we have some motion before that play?
Yes, I think there was some anxiousness. So that'll be a penalty, and they'll have an automatic 5-yard because it happened before the snap. So,
boy, you see the coaches on the Highland sideline just putting their hands on their head in frustration. A tough time for a penalty, but once again, we're in the opening game of the 2000 season, and there's a few butterflies to work out yet. That'll push the ball back to the 9-yard line. Now you may be forced to put the ball in the air.
Wouldn't surprise me to see a pass to Jackson, slant.
And another motion play. Another motion penalty. Looked like the left side of the line that time.
Dead ball, false start, offense.
Highland's going to need to settle down here. They're going to be at midfield
Still
before they know
fourth
it.
down.
Yeah, they're very anxious. And they want to get the jump.
Well, Greisbeck split wide to the left.
Watch Jackson.
Jackson to the right.
Jackson.
They're looking for Jackson, and the ball is picked off. And they're going to call it down. Either way, the result is the same. Central will take over, and Highland misses a golden opportunity to get on the scoreboard. Jose Phipps on the interception, and Jackson was just well covered.
He was right there.
Jose Phipps, a couple of big plays on both sides. Here's the replay. Peter Brown, just a little underthrown.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to watch these films, these games, and learn from it.
Now, I think you're going to see Central do a lot more running the remainder of this quarter and the fourth.
Well, they lead 20-6, and that would make sense. They now start out of the I formation. Tolbert and Phipps, and the give goes to Tolbert. Corey Marlowe wraps him up. Perhaps a 1-yard gain. Marvin Scroggins also in on the stop. There you get a look at number 42. Chris Tolbert. That'll bring up 2nd and 9. Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Back split now behind Hunkins, and he gives the ball to Phipps. Phipps looking for a block, and he's got the first down out to the 25. Not quite at the 25.
Not quite, yeah, not quite.
That's at the far side of the field.
That was a good run by Phipps. He was hit, he spun, and was able to stretch the ball out much further than he normally would have. He probably got about 3 yards, 2 yards to go. 3rd and 2. It's the end of the quarter.
Well, the clock winds down, and that is the end of the third quarter. Our score from Griffin Stadium in St. Paul, there you see it. The home Central Minutemen on top of the Highland Scots by a score of 20-6.
In yesterday's action, Cretin-Derham Hall 56, Arlington 0.
Welcome back to Griffin Stadium in St. Paul. Our score, Central on top 20-6 over Highland. It's 3rd down and 2 just across the 20-yard line. Hunkins rolling to the left. He's dangerous, and he's got the tight end off to the left side. Simons has the first down. Wrestled out of bounds by Dean.
That was a well-run play.
Eric Simons.
Got 2 sure-handed receivers out there. And I'm sure there are more, but these 2, Simons and O'Connell, are the ones who've been on the receiving end.
Well, first down for the Minutemen. And
11:51 left in the game. So far, Scott Howell's debut.
And the give goes to Phipps, and a flag is down. Phipps stretches out to the 45-yard line.
Holding. Offense.
Well, that'll push it backwards.
Red, you want that penalty?
Kwame, you talk about the roster sizes of these teams. You know, Central last year at one point was down to about 19 varsity players. This year,
right.
with a lot of new blood, new enthusiasm, they're happy to have 40 players. But
Replay the down.
you know, that's all relative. When they had the scrimmages last Saturday, Central scrimmaged against some of the bigger metro schools, Maple Grove, Bloomington Jefferson, Totino Grace. At one point, one of the coaches said to Scott Howell, let's go with the 2nd and 3rd teams now. And Howell looked at him and said, Coach, that's my team out there. And you get down to the 3rd and 4th quarters, these kids get tired. They're playing the entire game.
That's exactly right.
Hunkins drops straight back to pass, throws it, and it's almost picked off. Oh, a dangerous pass intended for Simons, and almost picked off that time. Aaron Olheiser defending for Highland. That could have been disaster.
Yeah, that was a very dangerous pass.
In fact, that was the same pass, the same pattern that Smith picked off.
Yes, exactly. Well, one thing, both of these teams are still in the game. 2 touchdowns is not very far away in a game like this.
2nd down and 20. Let's see if Hunkin puts it up in the air, and he will. Over the middle, and he's got O'Connell. It'll be well short of the first down. In fact, he's not even back to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, he is back at the original. No, you're right. He is not at the original line. You're absolutely right.
That'll bring up 3rd down and
about 13.
Yeah, about 13 to go. Highland smartly playing back a bit, as like to keep everything underneath at this point. 3rd and 13. O'Connell.
I think you'll see O'Connell on more of a slant this time.
This time rolling to the right side. Hunkins under pressure, throws it off onto the flat, and it's caught down the left sidelines, and near the first down, just short, is Phipps.
About 2 yards short. That was a well-designed play, and it almost picked up enough yards for the first down. He's about 2 yards short.
There you see the replay. He rolled to the right and then just flung it backwards. You know, that pass was actually behind the line of scrimmage.
Yes, it was.
Had he dropped that, that'd be a fumble.
That was a lateral.
Well, 4th and 2, they're going to go for it. Out of the I formation, Phipps the tailback. Let's see if they give it to him. And they do, off the right side, and he's got the first down.
You know, something I would like to see sometimes, Hunkins, Nate Hunkins, with his 6'5", 205-pound frame, do a quarterback sneak or a quarterback draw and see what he could do on a play like that.
There you see Jose Phipps. He runs low to the ground.
Yes, he does.
Just lowers his head.
And he's a very tough player. As you pointed out, last year had a lot of injuries, but he's healthy this year.
At the 45, this is Phipps again, and oh, he is met by number 78. A fine tackle that time by Mike Gavin. Lost a yard on that play. Highland certainly going full speed. They want to get their hands on the football.
That's exactly right. They have not given up at all. They know an intercepted pass could put them right back in the game.
Pro set formation for Hunkins. And a flag, and let's see, perhaps a illegal procedure.
May have taken a little too much time.
As the officials huddle to
good ball. Somebody lined up offside that time.
Yeah, it looked like on the left side. A lot of times you'll see the receiver point to the linesman to ask him if he's onside.
Exactly.
And the linesman will tell you, and it almost appeared if perhaps one of the receivers hadn't checked. And they blew it, they dropped the flag right away. Once again out of the I formation, 2nd down and 16. Hunkins, little delay to Phipps, and Phipps is wrapped up by Corey Marlowe just across midfield.
Phipps thought he saw a little daylight over there, but Marlowe was right there to pull him down. That was a very good tackle. It was almost a hand tackle. He had both hands, but he didn't have his shoulder into him, but he had a very strong young man and was able to pull him down.
Kwame, we have not seen Marcus Smith return to the game. He's their big play back, both offensively and defensively.
Right.
3rd and 14. Hunkins back to pass. Looking for O'Connell. He's not open. Hunkins now scrambling to the right. Under pressure, and he throws it back to Phipps. Phipps is brought down at midfield. Well, Hunkins showed you a little scrambling ability, but good pursuit by the Highland Park defense. They did not give up on that play.
Highland did a very good job that time of, maintaining their position, not going for the fake, and everybody kind of stayed in their area so that it made it impossible for them to be successful.
Well, no choice now but to punt the football for Central. Highland sends Robin Jackson deep along with Dean. And the ball is dropped, and it's going to be a dead ball, and Highland gets a big break. It was a low snap. The ball hit the ground, and the official ruled the play dead.
In fact, the snap wasn't even a spiral. It kind of floated back there.
Well, it's one of the more difficult things to do, the long snap.
Yes.
You see now in the National Football League, teams are now putting a specialist. That's all they do.
Yes.
You've got somebody right on top of you, and you need to concentrate on getting a spiral back as well as concentrating on your block. And that time, Highland Park takes advantage. Mayer under center, looking for someone downfield, and he underthrows a pass intended for Robin Jackson. Seven minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Highland Park trying desperately to get on the scoreboard. They trail by 14, not an insurmountable lead.
You know, I don't see Marcus Smith down there at all. I wonder, his father was here, and I wonder if he took him to the hospital. Seemed like a shoulder injury.
Little misdirection up the middle is Foster. And Central certainly be satisfied giving up short runs like that.
Yes.
With the clock winding down, 6:47. 3rd down and 5. Ball at the 32-yard line. And a flag is down. Pitch goes to Dean. He's tackled immediately.
Eric Simons was in on that tackle, as was L.W. Boykins.
And the officials talking to the Central captains, which gives an indication it may be on Highland. And it is.
Motion, red, 5-yard penalty. Accepted.
Well, not that unusual, Kwame, for the first game to have these motion penalties, the timing a little bit off.
Yeah. Well, you know, one thing, though, in this game, you haven't had any unsportsmanlike conduct or any of those cheap shots. These guys have played a very clean, within the rules game.
And a very hard-fought game.
Yes.
By both sides. 6:22, 3rd and 10. And there's a quick pass. And again, the timing just a little bit off. Pass intended that time for Nick Foster, and Foster was looking right, and the pass went left. That'll bring up 4th down, and I don't think Highland has any choice but to go for it here.
No, they can't kick. They're sending
Peter Brown back in.
Peter Brown back in, and he's not a punter.
Well, they send Robin Jackson to the left. He's the only wide receiver. Brown under pressure, going for it all for Jackson, and it is deflected and incomplete. Defended that time
by Boykins, L.W. Boykins.
And there you get a look at Robin Jackson, frustrated, no doubt.
Yeah, Robin hasn't had an opportunity to show his stuff tonight.
Yeah, he just didn't have the angle there. Good positioning that time by Boykins. And Jackson, like so many players, heads right back to the huddle. He's got to line up on defense. 6 minutes and 8 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter. You're watching St. Paul City Conference football. Todd Johnson along with Kwame McDonald. This game appears to be in the hands of the St. Paul Central Minutemen.
Well, they've got 6 minutes and 8 seconds to make Coach Scotty Howell's debut.
This is Phipps, and he gets a 1st down and a lot more across midfield into Highland territory at the 45, and Highland perhaps may be wearing down.
Yes, that was a very good run by Phipps. You know, it's really interesting because both teams have played about the same number of men, but somehow that adrenaline flows faster, deeper when you're winning.
Well, Scott Howell privately wondered if he was going to get the Gatorade shower under his first win. Should he hold on to win tonight? And we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yes.
There's a quick pass to O'Connell. And let's see, will they give it to him? The officials are talking. One said yes, the other said no. And I think the second official overruled the first.
We gotta do something here, God. Let's go, Highland!
We'll bring up a 2nd down, under 6 minutes to go. The Highland Park 47-yard line. Expect Central to keep the ball on the ground. And the give again goes to Phipps off the left side. He's got the 1st down. And it dragged out of bounds on the far sideline. Matt Glaze on the tackle, but not before another good run by Jose Phipps.
Jose Phipps is piling up a lot of yards in the second half.
And again, give credit to that offensive line for Central. They're doing a very good job. And you're right. They do have a little extra boost of enthusiasm.
Yeah, I think the offensive line has done a good job both in protecting the passer and opening up for the run.
Who else? This is Phipps. And he's wrestled down. Greisbeck on the tackle for Highland. You know, interestingly enough, Kwame, when I asked Scott Howell what the key was to his success this season, you might have thought he would have said his quarterback, his receiver. He didn't. He said his offensive line.
Yes, and he's right.
They need to protect Nate Hunkins this year and open up some holes for Jose Phipps and company.
And they've done a good job of both tonight.
4:45 and counting. Second down from the 33-yard line. Hunkins play action pass. He's got a man wide open downfield. That's O'Connell. Touchdown! A 34-yard touchdown pass. Nate Hunkins to Casey O'Connell. And that just about is the final nail in the coffin. Central builds a 26-6 lead. Hunkins was looking at O'Connell the whole time, and Casey O'Connell just hauled it in for his second touchdown for the night for St. Paul Central.
Well, if I was Dickie V, I guess I would tell the bus driver to rev it up.
And the extra point is perfect. And the lead now is 27-6.
It's very interesting. At the beginning of the game, Joseph Marinick seemed very unsure about his kicking. There goes Hunkins. There's the pass, a long one. And who else? Who's on the other end there? He
right on the money.
In. Boy, he's a player. O'Connell.
I don't think that's the last Hunkins to O'Connell reception we're going to see this year.
I don't think so. I think we'll see a lot more. In fact, I'd venture to guess we'll see one or two in the next game.
Well, that's two in a row. Hunkins to O'Connell had a 35-yard combination in the third quarter, and then a 34-yarder with just 4 minutes to go. And a little reverse. This is Deem around the right side, and that didn't fool anybody. Wrapped up that time by Raheem Shabazz. And that picture may tell you the whole story right there.
Well, Central is really, really fired up right about now.
Well, Kwame, it's a cliche to say the least, but this is not a 27-6 ball game. These two teams have been very even, but
yes, they have.
Central has been able to execute the big play.
Yes, and this is what John Heller said at the beginning. He said that it would take him 4 or 5 or more plays.
And here's a long pass intended for Robin Jackson, incomplete. That was Russell Deem you saw a moment ago. He returned that kickoff, and trainers are attending to him on the sidelines.
Something about his ribs. I think he probably
here you can look at him.
Hit the ball. The ball probably hit his ribs as he hit the ground, and that happens a lot.
And it hurts a little bit more when you're on the short end of a 27-6 score.
With 4 minutes and 16 seconds left.
Well, Foster and Jackson to the left. And the pass goes to Jackson. And he's just going to take it himself. Tries to get out of bounds. He can't. On the near side. Julius Jackson. You've heard us call his name a few times in on that stop.
Julius has played a fine game tonight. He's a great defensive player.
Well, Kwame, if you're Coach John Heller, what do you do? What do you take out of this game?
Well, one thing you take is you let the players know, and I think he can say this honestly, that he appreciates their effort. One thing is they need to work very hard.
There's a nice completion, a little hook and ladder to Deem down the right side. One man to beat. Chris Deem to the 10, and he's tackled just short of the goal line.
That was Raheem Shabazz.
Oh my,
a 10th grader.
The little hook and ladder play. We've all done that on the Sandlot before, and a great call and perfectly executed.
It's one of the best executed attempts at that play that I've seen.
There you see it. The pass went to Jackson. He flipped it to Chris Deem, who's just had a whale of a ball game and just didn't have enough afterburners to take it in. Shabazz, as you said on the stop, and you know what, Kwame, serves us right here. We're right in Highland Park off, and they come with a huge play. And there's a run for a touchdown. Matt Glaze off right guard, and Highland Park takes it in for the touchdown, a 2-yard run. Matt Glaze, there you see him, number 45, 6'1", 170-pound senior. Also plays linebacker, and
that was an well-executed play. Right off tackle.
2 minutes and 58 seconds to go. Stern in for the extra point.
Highland has nothing to be ashamed of tonight.
This extra point
is good.
Dan Stern drills this one, and that brings the score to 27-13.
You know something? You asked me if I was the coach, what I would take out of this game. You know, I think he's already done that. He kept them in the game. They didn't quit. Down by 3 touchdowns. They stayed with it. He would probably talk to them about courage, inner strength, and ingenuity, and they had all of these things. They've shown that here tonight. They can be proud of themselves because, as you have said earlier, they were not outplayed that much. Central had a couple of big plays that made the difference, and John Heller predicted this. He said this is what Central's forte is, that they will come with the big play.
Well, Kwame, would you do the onside kick at this point?
Yeah, if I was Central, I'd have their good hands guys up there. It doesn't matter if it goes.
Well, let's get a look at it. Here it is. And let's see if it goes 10 yards. I'm afraid not. And that's going to be a penalty. Well, it's a very difficult play to execute. I mean, the percentage of onside kicks that are recovered are very, very small.
You know something? The pros don't do it that well, and they play the game full time. Their kickers don't do anything but that.
Yeah, you hope to get a end-over-end spin and perhaps get a good bounce.
Good bounce, yep.
Bump up in the air, but that's easier said than done.
Procedure penalty. Central will take the football.
There's Billy Hafner. Boy, you always know what's going on when Billy Hafner has the white hat.
Well, if you're Central now, Kwame, the name of the game is to hold on to the football, and I would be very surprised to see them put this one up. Put the ball in the air. Out of the I formation, and they keep it on the ground to Phipps, and a huge hole on the left side, but a good defensive play that time. Corey Marlowe in on that stop. I thought Phipps had some daylight, but Highland closed the gap.
Yeah.
Aaron Howard also in on that.
Yeah, you're not going to see them do anything but give the ball to a running back. Luke Garatoya is the quarterback. He's a 6'5", 185-pound junior.
Boy, they grow their quarterbacks tall here at Central.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
A couple of 6'5" trigger men out of the I formation. Give goes to the fullback, and he is met and a loss on that play. Highland read that one well. 2 minutes, 7 seconds and counting. It'll bring up third down. Central obviously content letting the clock wind down. They'll take as much time as they can.
If they can get a first down, they can run the ball out.
Garafola. He is going to put it up. Throws off to the right side to Phipps. Got a couple of blockers, and his ball is loose. But Phipps recovers himself. Boy, a good play that time by Aaron Olheiser. He had two big offensive linemen coming his way, and he fought through both blocks and ended up stripping the football. Unfortunately for him, Phipps fell right on it. Olheiser, 5'8", 190, and he had two bookends headed his way, and give him credit. Here's the replay. Fought right through it right there,
yes.
Stripped the ball.
Yep.
And that's been the story of the night for Highland, just
yep.
a few inches away from getting the ball. This may be a game when they look back on as what ifs. What
yes.
if?
Oh, yes, there are a lot of those tonight.
But as you said, nothing to be ashamed of. They've played extremely hard. And not to take any credit away from Central. They've performed very well, and the big play has really been the difference in this football game. We have a fourth down. And a punting situation. Highland going for the block, and they nearly get it. And the punt is fielded by Jackson. Not too many blockers in front of him. Jackson spins forward for a couple of yards. Boy, Kwame, they came very close to blocking that punt.
Well, look, the coaches over there on the Central side are wondering why there wasn't a penalty on that play, because they did hit and knock down the punter, and they didn't touch the ball.
Right, that was the only exception would be if they got a piece of the ball. I didn't think they did.
Didn't either, but you know, maybe they saw something we didn't see.
Well, a minute 11 to go. 27-13 is our score.
Well, surprisingly, not a lot of fans. There are a few fans that are leaving, but a lot of them are going to stay right in their seat.
Mayer back to pass, looking for Jackson, and it's nearly picked off by O'Connell. Casey O'Connell read that one well.
O'Connell's timing was great. He waited and waited, and then he went up at the right time. I think he would have liked to intercepted that, but he only was able to get one hand on it. Our next... There's the pass. Excellent timing. Our next cable call will be on Thursday, September 7th, with Como Park against Arlington.
55 seconds. Highland going with the no huddle. And a quick pass intended for the tight end. Reisbeck, but just out of his reach. Clock stops with 46 seconds to go, and that'll be a fourth down.
Peter Brown's back in. Peter Brown with the strong arm.
And he pitches it out to Dean, looking for a block, and he's got the first down, still on his feet. And he is certainly not giving up.
I am very impressed with Dean.
This young
Chris
man's had a heck of a game.
Very, very impressed with him.
Clock continues to tick, 34 seconds and counting. Mayer back to pass. He's pass intended for Jackson, but he is covered there very well by none other than Julius Jackson. 5'9", 160-pound senior has also played a very good game.
Yes, Julius may well have been the outstanding defensive player in this game. See Jim Wells down there, the veteran Pioneer Press sports writer on the high school beat tonight. Down there ready for some interviews.
Pitch back goes again to Dean. Wrapped up by Matt Schmidt.
I'm impressed with Matt Schmidt also. He's the center. He leads them out of the huddle. Does a good job, has done a good job all night up front in terms of calling the plays and protecting the passer and opening holes for the runner. Matt Schmidt doing an all-star performance on both sides of the ball tonight.
You know, let's not underestimate the impact of Marcus Smith leaving this game. I mean, he scored a touchdown for Highland Park. He had a big interception. A leader on both sides of the football, and when you have rosters this small and you have two-way players, you just can't afford to lose somebody, let alone someone of Smith's ability.
Exactly. He's a leader on this team, and they depend on him a lot. 17 seconds left, score 27-13. Central looks like they're going to get the musket back.
Let's see if the coach gets a Gatorade showered as well. 27-13, Highland, perhaps a final play. Pass is to Jackson, who completes it to Nick Foster. I thought the ball had hit the ground.
It looked like it, didn't it? It looked like it hit the ground in the first pass.
7 seconds and another timeout called by Highland. Well, they're going to call that a completed pass. I don't know if we can check the replay. I thought that ball hit the turf. The pass to Robin Jackson.
Yeah, I thought so too. But referees, of course, will let us know they had a better angle.
Let's see if we could see it here. Well, sure looked like it bounced there to me. But you know, Kwame, you are allowed to do a bounce pass.
In basketball.
I've seen it in football. Skipping off the turf. I saw the University of Wisconsin do that a
few
years back.
Yes.
Well, 7 seconds to go. Chance for one more play. And Mayer gonna put it downfield, and it is incomplete. Pass intended for Foster, and Julius Jackson puts an exclamation point on that one. And that's what the winning team will be carrying across to their sideline. As you mentioned at the top, Kwame, it's been in the possession of Highland Park
for 5 years. And 8 out of the last 10.
And this will be the last play of the game. Dean is wrapped up from behind, and that's it. The Central Minutemen, and the shower of Gatorade does fall on Scott Howell, and boy, are they excited. This is great to see. Some great enthusiasm shown there by the Central players. They're happy for head coach Scott Howell. He gets his first win as head coach of the Minutemen. As the two teams meet to congratulate each other on a pretty good football game.
Well, before the game, John Heller let us know what he feared. He said, number one, Scotty has worked him very hard, and he's keeping it simple. And he said, that worries me. And there's a lot of enthusiasm.
Well, here come the players. They want to get that musket. Let's see if we can get a shot of that from the Highland bench. As they carry it off.
Eric Simons.
Eric Simons has the rival trophy, the musket. The Minutemen have their musket back, and they are happy to have it. And what a great tradition this has been between these two neighborhood schools.
This was a very good game and an enjoyable one to do. And the thing that I liked about it, again, excellent sportsmanship. We did not see not one cheap shot tonight. After the game is over, you see even good sportsmanship. There's not a lot of talk and things like that. They're very, very respectful of each other, very respectful of each other's efforts and the team.
Well, Scott Howell gets his first win as head coach of Central High School. It's been an entertaining game. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Once again, our final score from Griffin Stadium in St. Paul. There you see them, the victors, their first game, first victory for Coach Howell. They defeat rival Highland Park by a score of 27-6. So long, everybody.